We just brought a species of wolf back from extinction. AI is getting more advanced, and eventually a pack of dinosaur riding robots is going to take over the fucking world. All these scientific breakthroughs just for me to get murked by a pack of velociraptors on my Sunday walk. This type of shit is exactly the reason why I always tell JetPT thank you. Welcome to the end of the world, brought to you by State Farm Insurance. This is why you shouldn't shit in public toilets, because they're taking your DNA. When you take a shit at your buddy's house and the toilet don't want to flush properly, you're embarrassed. You're like, why me? It's because there's a backup in the DNA intake. This is why Elvis died of constipation. Elvis died in the pursuit of happy shit. Robots are dangerous, and I'm not referring to self-checkout machines. If you go to Walmart and break open a self-checkout machine, you'll come to find they're actually being ran by hobbits from the Shire. No, I do not take hardcore drugs, even though I'd like to. If I got a nickel for every time someone asked me how tall I was, I would have no nickels, because no one asked me that. No one asked the real questions. What did the letter C ever do to get attached to hepatitis? And why am I still walking around with this dusty-ass hat on my head when it's apparent it should be hung up in a museum somewhere, preferably next to the Cosby sweater? Yeah, y'all probably think I'm crazy right now, but I'll be the first one here to tell you so when you walk out your front door and it's fucking Godzilla versus the Iron Giant outside. Kids these days are softer than Charmin shit paper. Hell, back when I was in school, gym class was like boot camp, alright? Your teacher was either an alcoholic or a middle-aged woman with her hairstyle stuck in the 80s. These people would go hang a rope from the ceiling, put down a little 2-inch mat, and was like, y'all go for it. Y'all remember the pacer test? You start at one side of the gym, you run to the next, you go back and forth, and every so often you get faster and faster. Not to toot my own horn or nothing, but I still own the record down there at the high school, you know. How many did I run? I mean, I ain't trying to brag. 124. Apparently, some schools don't even do it anymore because they say it's too hard. Now, what in the diabetic fuck? You know what kids did in my day during the pacer test when it was too hard? They quit and they sat down. Because you can do that, dumbass. I already knew things were going downhill. I mean, hell, when I was a senior, we were told at the pet rally we could not say fresh meat on your feet because it was offensive, because one of the kids, you know, went up to the office crying like a little bitch. Well, I had fun getting hazed. I didn't have friends up to that point. Funny thing is, a lot of those teachers that helped participate in the hazing and stuff, you know, they immediately turned around and was like, yeah, I never really agreed with that. You know, I think it's a smart... Shut the fuck up. I waited 4 years to be able to haze a freshman, only to be told I couldn't. I'm gonna need some sort of restitution. I feel like y'all took something from me. Somebody needs to do a Dazed and Confused Part 2. You know, you got Matthew McConaughey over there, you know. All right. That's what I like about these high school girls, you know. I keep getting older, and they stay the same age. Then it pans over to me, and I got like 10 freshmen in a trash can. I'm trying to fucking pan them all in there. I'm actually not a comedian. I just get on here and tell you guys the same shit I told my therapist last Thursday. Just had some edibles, but don't worry, I'm good at driving. Now, where the fuck are my keys? Shoot, I know y'all know about woodcutters, but what y'all know about woodcooters, son? Woo! Hallowed be a name, Lord Jesus. Keep me away from the traducer. Apparently, being a guy with long hair means probable cause for vehicular searches and not the fact that I smell like Pepe Le Pew. Officer pulled me over, asked me if I was high. I told him no. He said, since when? I said, since you pulled me over. If you're drunk, you're just drunk, but I can snap out of a high like Thanos in Infinity Wars. I never drive under the influence when I'm high. The influence is under me. Officer asked me to step out of the vehicle. I'm much obliged. Only time I'm driving dirty is on the way home from the Sneaky Link's house. He was arrogant, as most of them are, confident that he had me. I left him with his pecker in his hand. He couldn't find jack shit. He was baffled, surprised. I hit him with my best switchblade impersonation. It ain't got no gas in it. He said, say the alphabet backwards. I said, all right. I said Z, Y, X, W, V, T. He said, you forgot the U. I said, officer, you ain't in the alphabet. He breathalyzed me immediately. It reads .069. I said, officer, I believe this interaction was meant to be. He ain't laughing none of my jokes. If he's got a wife at home, she's miserable. Anyways, he was nice enough to let me go with a warning. Too bad I learned my lessons the hard way. My son fell off the couch earlier, and yeah, I laughed about it. I don't know if that makes me a terrible parent, but yeah, I laughed my ass off. I laughed my fucking ass off. I told him for like 30 minutes to not jump on the couch. And did he listen? No, he didn't listen. And did I get onto him? No, I didn't get onto him. You know why I didn't get onto him? Because sometimes you can just let life teach the lesson for you. Sure, you could get onto them and punish them in whichever way you see fit, but more than likely they're just going to end up doing it again. Or you could just let them, you know, bust their ass one good time and, you know, they won't ever do that shit again. Sometimes it is better to learn the hard way. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there. I do just want to go on the record and say that is strictly situational. You know, you walk out in the yard and see your kid, you know, tossing lit matches in the gas tank, then yeah, you might want to intervene. That's why you got so many sissified men these days, all right? You didn't let the boys be boys, all right? You gotta let the boys be the boys. For more parenting tips, you can reach me via email, Bryce Tucker at midlifecrisis.org. You know, I almost got married once, but they tricked me. All these big words in the paperwork, you know, like significant. I thought it was pronounced sign if I can't. Had me thinking this bitch had good credit or something. Good credit, shit. Her credit's so fucked, they don't even call it credit no more. They call it security. Learned the word adultery. That's apparently frowned upon. So, you know, I started thinking maybe I shouldn't get married. At least then I could cheat and keep the other half. Some people think marriage is just the best thing ever. And, you know, it's not. It's drugs, unfortunately. Listen, I understand marriage is a beautiful thing, all right? And I'm not down in it. I'm not even against marriage, all right? You know, it's just I've worked tons of jobs over my life. I was a, you know, DOT worker, a farmer. I worked at a chicken house. I worked a lot of jobs, and, you know, I've worked a lot of hours, and not once have I ever gotten home and that bong was bitching. I'm gonna find my ex in my DMs in 3, 2. The funny part is this isn't even about her. You know, it's about all of them, and here she is being selfish. My exes are good people, you know. I don't have anything against any of them. They all know I ain't worth a shit, you know. So when they see this, they'll probably get a good laugh out of it. You know, I'm just grateful we were able to all stay close. Because when you're HIV positive, your options are limited. I thought about marrying myself one time as like this ultimate act of self-love. But then again, every time the AC cuts out of my truck, I think about, you know, how the pine tree looks, kind of resembles a finish line. Yeah, I'll probably never get married. So the other day I'm hanging out at my buddy's house and we decided to go on this beer run. And as we pull up to the liquor store, I can't help but to notice this white van sitting across the way. At first I didn't think much of it, but you know, when liquor store came out, liquor store, and I started seeing some sketchy shit, all right? They were parked across the road at this gas station, right? And every time these kids would walk out of this gas station, they go calling to them, trying to call them over. And I immediately felt just weird about this. You know, it's kind of unsettling. They do this for about another minute, 2 minutes tops, and then they pull out and they go to leave. And I done got curious at this point, so me and my buddy, we pull out, we go to follow them, you know. We follow them up there to the McDonald's. You know, they pull into the McDonald's. Now, this is where shit gets weird, right? All right, the driver gets out of the van, and he looks exactly like how you think he looks. He goes around, opens up the side door. When he opens up the side door, this kid, probably 10, 11 years old, I don't know, 12 max maybe, jumps out of the van and hauls ass full sprint to McDonald's. And the guy, you know, he quickly goes in behind him. I'm like, all right, now something's going on. And it was at this moment I realized that as a good citizen, I had to take action. So I tore off a piece of my shirt, stuck it in the gas cap, set it ablaze, and I watched that son of a bitch blow sky fucking high. It was amazing. I mean, just an arsonist's wet dream. Turns out it was the community youth church van. It's only a penny for your thoughts, but it costs 2 cents to open your mouth, so please understand that sometimes it is better to shut your face and not to overpay. Today, I'm gonna teach you about mental finances. Why is Bryce such an introvert? Why'd he even come to the party? He doesn't talk to anybody anyway. Bitch, I am poor. Some people like to call it their social battery. I like to refer to it as my social wallet. I can only invest myself in so many things before I grow tired of such diminishing returns. You know the saying, food for thought? Well, some of y'all are mentally diabetic. You have a my 600-pound life living in your noggin. Congratulations, dude has the brain capacity of a fucking McRib. And you want to know why? It's because all you retained up there is shit. Alright? Shit. And if you were meant to retain shit, God wouldn't have given you an asshole. And that's why mental finance is so important, because when they do come across positive food for thought, there's no retention there because they don't even have a savings account set up. They're still living their life TikTok to TikTok. That's why I don't really talk to people. You know, if mental finance was an actual thing, I'm gonna need my restitution. I walk away from a conversation feeling like I just got robbed. Sorry, I can't talk today. I'm saving up for my next Taylor Swift rant. I've come to the realization that the kids these days are a lost cause. The other day, I'm driving down a side street. I noticed a group of kids playing basketball out in the road. All right, now that's nothing out of the ordinary. Hell, we used to do the same thing when we were kids, except when we were kids, we had 2 very important things that we had to go by, okay? One was that you got your ass home before the street lights came on. And 2 was that if you were out in the street and you saw a car, you got your ass out the road. So I'm pulling up on them, and there's like this speed bump right before I get to them. So I go ahead, slow down a little bit, go over the speed bump. And now the only thing between me and these kids is there an opportunity. I also want to bring it to everybody's attention that when I went over that speed bump, it cracked. Just a shout out to the Department of Transportation and their great work that they do. Now, I was already prepared for these kids to move out of the road. All right, now what a dumbass I am to give people the benefit of the doubt on such attributes as common fucking sense. Not only did these kids not move, but I'm quite positive it was their first time seeing a motorized vehicle. They just sat there like the Indians in Apocalypto when the Spanish showed up. Just, what? What's going on? They looked dumbfounded. I was like, what the hell is with these kids? So I had rolled my window down. I was like, what are y'all doing? Get out the road. I'm trying to get through here. One of them was like, you just ran my friend Timmy over. I was like, oh shit. My bad. I thought Timmy was a fucking speed bump. He was like, Timmy is a speed bump. And at this moment, I realized the side of the spectrum that I was dealing with here. Here I am talking to the kid who has personified a lump of asphalt. He was like, no, Timmy is a real person. He just identifies as a speed bump. So I put the car in reverse because I felt like it was the right thing to do to give him more practice. And here I was blaming the DOT. Poor sons of bitches. They didn't deserve that. You know, my ex Kelsey, she used to always tell me that, there's nothing wrong with having a small pecker. And it's like I told her, I mean, you're right, you're absolutely right. There's nothing wrong with having a small pecker. It's just, I, preferred you didn't have one at all. When I first started doing these, it was all about quality, good quality, comedy and content, whatever. And it feels like, especially in these past 6 months to a year, it feels like it's become more about the quantity than it is the quality. Feeling like I have to put something out every day, feeling like I have to stay on the ball. And because of that, there are days where things get rushed. There are days when, instead of me sitting down and writing out a whole sketch, video, whatever, I just pick my phone up in 30 seconds, just blurt some shit out. And, sometimes it works that way. Sometimes it works out good that way. And sometimes it doesn't. But the point of the matter is it's starting to become a lot to do this every single day. It's becoming a lot. And I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to do it. And I'm not saying that I'm quitting. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying I'm quitting. What I'm saying is I need to either lay off a little bit or just take a fucking break. Take a month or two off and just take a fucking break and just reevaluate and reassess. Because when I first started this, a lot of things that I loved about it, a lot of things I loved about this, it don't feel the same anymore. And I'm not in a when it comes to like my fans, my followers, my extended family, as I call y'all, of course, like that is what it's all about. I love, making your day, making you have a better day, brightening your spirits. I love that. But I never wanted it to get to a point to where like it's starting to affect my own mental, to the point to where, I'm making other people laugh and I'm making other people have these great days and having good days. But am I having a good day? Am I having a great day? Am I okay? Because I'm so busy, trying to make everybody else's day. I never think, dude, am I making my own? So yeah, I've been going through a fucking lot. I've been going through a lot about this for the past couple days. I didn't even know if I was going to make this video. I was scared to make this video, to be completely honest with y'all, but here we are. Clear, like I said earlier, I'm not quitting. But you'll probably see a little less from me, a little less. Maybe not posting as much as usual. Cause I need a break. I need a damn break. I need to get my shit back together, right? I got my son's getting older. He starts school next year. There's just a lot on the plate. And, I couldn't be where I'm at in life without y'all. Y'all, are the reason why I'm able to pay the bills. Y'all are the reason why I'm able to do this and do that and afford these things. So it's a tough spot, because at the same time, this is technically my job. Like, I'm employed by Facebook. As weird as that sounds, I mean, I'm employed by Facebook. So it's like, this is how I make my money. It's just I need a break. That's what all it is. That's what this all boils down to. I need a break. And I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I'm not in no bad headspace or nothing. I don't want y'all thinking I'm all just sad and depressed. It's not like that. It's not like that. Please don't get all, what do you say? Don't get all pity party on me now. It's not like that. I'm okay, but I just need a break, man. It's a lot. It's stressful. It's when you have 500,000 people, you want to please them all, and you can't please them all, and that's just part of the problem, I guess. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this, my vent for today. I'll see y'all soon, of course, obviously. Y'all know I will never go anywhere. I'll still be here, just not as much. At least for right now. Maybe later I'll come back full-fledged, balls to the wall. But for now, I need a break. And I feel like I earned it. Not tooting my own horn, not being egotist, not being an asshole, but I feel like I kind of earned it. I feel like, but I love y'all. See y'all, man. Peace. Thank y'all for listening. Leave a comment below, like the video, share it, whatever you need to do. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. I'm out. I've come to the realization that the kids these days are a lost cause. The other day, I'm driving down a side street. I noticed a group of kids playing basketball out in the road. All right, now that's nothing out of the ordinary. Hell, we used to do the same thing when we were kids, except when we were kids, we had two very important things that we had to go by, okay? One was that you got your ass home before the street lights came on. And two was that if you were out in the street and you saw a car, you got your ass out the road. So I'm pulling up on them, and there's like this speed bump right before I get to them. So I go ahead, slow down a little bit, go over the speed bump. And now the only thing between me and these kids is there an opportunity. I also want to bring it to everybody's attention that when I went over that speed bump, it cracked. Just a shout out to the Department of Transportation and their great work that they do. Now, I was already prepared for these kids to move out of the road. All right, now what a dumbass I am to give people the benefit of the doubt on such attributes as common fucking sense. Not only did these kids not move, but I'm quite positive it was their first time seeing a motorized vehicle. They just sat there like the Indians in Apocalypto when the Spanish showed up. Just, what's going on? They looked dumbfounded. I was like, what the hell is with these kids? So I had rolled my window down. I was like, what are y'all doing? Get out the road. I'm trying to get through here. One of them was like, you just ran my friend Timmy over. I was like, oh shit. My bad. I thought Timmy was a fucking speed bump. He was like, Timmy is a speed bump. And at this moment, I realized the side of the spectrum that I was dealing with here. Here I am talking to the kid who has personified a lump of asphalt. He was like, no, Timmy is a real person. He just identifies as a speed bump. So I put the car in reverse because I felt like it was the right thing to do to give him more practice. And here I was blaming the DOT. Poor sons of bitches. They didn't deserve that. First time at a strip club was probably one of the worst experiences of my life. First off, this is all my buddy's idea because he doesn't have a woman at home, so I guess he figured his chance at love would be some trucker side piece named Amanda. You see, when it comes to dating, my buddy goes both ways, yet he's still single, so he's bi alright by his fucking self. Guy's gotten so desperate he's one rejection away from going to the bar and roofing himself. He's my buddy, so I've tried helping him multiple times, My most recent was setting him up an account on farmersonly.com, which was ironic considering he wound up dating a hoe for 6 months. Now, I had no interest in going, but I figured I'd be supportive of my buddy and his bullshit, because that's what a friendship is, unfortunately. Now, first off, we get there and there's a dead body in the fucking handicap parking spot, alright? That should have been my first red flag, but the dude was Crip, so I got confused. We walk in, we head straight to the bar. You ever been to these strip clubs that sell, like, actual restaurant food? I saw a guy in there toss away $200 in ones that complained about the bacon to lettuce ratio in his homestyle BLT. I ain't gonna lie, I did end up going with some onion rings, though, because I was kind of hungry. Them poor girls, man, they been in there working overtime, and you could tell it, too, man. Whole place smelled like black and mild and Bengay. My buddy was over there trying to eat his pulled pork sandwich. Old girl was twerking on him, his brain fight between two natural instincts, am I hungry, am I horny? The longer he thought about it, the more off spectrum he got. Hey, that shit was wild, man. I told him multiple times not to get that shot. Turns out the girl wasn't even full time. She was a substitute. The other girl got sick, so she called in. Substitute stripping. That's a thing, but they won't tell you that. They'll call it like on-call dancer, you know, some shit like that. Whatever they can do to hide the daddy issues. Some guy randomly walked up to me. He was like, what size are you? I said, 12. I thought you were talking about shoes. He said, I'm 7.5 on Blue Chew. Can you work with that? I said, bitch, I just retired. Fuck you mean? I came up here to support a friend, not get no damn booty banded. He said, I'm sorry, ma'am. I meant no disrespect. And he walked off. And it occurred to me, I was like, holy shit, this dude thought I was a girl. He thought I was a lady. I didn't get upset because I got misgendered or whatever. I didn't cause a scene or nothing. You know, I just sat there and I took it. Like the strong, independent woman that I am. Anyways, I told substitute daddy issues over there about my buddy's predicament, and even though she wouldn't sleep with him out of fear he'd move into the hedges outside of her apartment, she did give him a little action in the bathroom, if you know what I mean. It was terrible. He cried the whole time. The whole establishment heard it. Everybody heard it. It sounded like someone had just called him and told him that his children had passed away in a car accident, and then he immediately went to the bathroom to pass a kidney stone. Speaking of calls, he called his mom as soon as he finished, as if he just got into college or something, you know what I mean? This is for you, Mom. You always believed. And apparently, I didn't even know this, but it was that girl's birthday. As soon as she came out the bathroom, here come the other employees with a damn cake talking about some happy birthday to you. I was like, damn, that's kind of cool. You know, she don't even work there full time. That's taking your employees into consideration. One of them said, make a wish, sweetie. I was like, Lord, good God, if she blows on it, don't eat it. She had just turned 22. And 2 weeks later, she filed her first restraining order. There is a very valuable lesson to be learned in all of this, and that's that if you ever go to a strip club, don't eat the onion rings. That was some of the worst diarrhea of my life. You'll ever look back on your life and think that you might have wasted a talent? Well, I was doing that last night while I was laying in bed, and I was thinking about back when I was in high school and how English class was by far, you know, my most successful subject. I always get straight A's in there. The teacher pulled me to the side up front of the class, whatever, get me to read my short stories because of how good they were. And I think about it from time to time, and I might have wasted a talent there. You know, there's no telling how good of a plagiarizer I'd be by now. I met this girl down at the bar the other night, and she informs me that she's a caretaker for her mama. Apparently her mom got in this real bad car accident, and she can't, you know, she needs living assistance now. So she moved in with her and takes care of her full time, and I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that whatsoever, but she told me from the jump, she was like, listen, you know, if we start dating, seeing each other, whatever, I just need you to understand that no matter what, Mama always comes first. And I'm like, I got it. Mama comes first. I completely understand. I get your situation. I got it. All right. No more complaints out of me. So fast forward, right? We go through a couple more weeks of seeing each other, dating, and things start to hit it off. Things start to, you know, look up and up. And so she finally invites me over to her house to meet her mama. So I get over there, I meet her mom, I give her a big smile, I give her a big hug, I start to take my pants off, my old lady starts yelling at me, and I'm like, I don't understand, I thought you said mama comes first. My buddy got a face tat, now he can't get a job. He tried to be Post Malone, and now he's without a home. I seen him outside the laundromat the other day. He looked like an Etch-a-Sketch that just fell between the couch cushions. Looked like he walked in the office supplies section of Walmart and face planted a shelf full of open Sharpie markers. One time he went missing, so they put his face on the back of a milk carton and it dropped in value immediately. It's honestly a good thing that was a false alarm as well, because nobody looked for him. We saw that picture, we thought they done crossed him out. He reminds me of someone that at like 17 passed out at a party with their shoes on and then woke up the next morning, looked in the mirror and was like, you know, fuck it, let's keep it. I like to think he was going for the Chucky look, but he came out looking more like Jonah Hill had just ran face first into a zip line. Now he's looking to start a rap career going by the name Mo Money, Mo Problems. I think he should change his name to No Money and Faux Problems. Where the fuck am I about to eat, shit, sleep, and piss? This is typical shit that starts to happen whenever you work overnight at Target Distribution for too long. I had a guy come up to me the other day, said he seen my dog out in the yard eating grass and I should probably get it checked out. Said, listen here, you judgmental son of a bitch. You ever stop to think that maybe my dog's a vegetarian? The audacity of some people, man. But he was totally right there. My dog's dead as shit this morning. Here's my personal biggest turnoffs. Number one, boob job. I personally think inflation's killing this country. I don't have anything against a boob job, it's just you have to have good boob to body ratio, you know? If you look like you just smuggled 2 cantaloupes out the back of a Dollar General, that just ain't gonna cut it. I had a cousin get a boob job, but she got those biodegradable boobies, so, you know, I can't be too mad at it. You know, plastic's bad for the environment. I seen on the news the other day, some woman went down there to the beach and apparently a baby sea turtle got strangled between her breasts. Number two, web feet. I can't date you if you swim better than me and take advantage of handicapped parking spaces. The hell you need that parking space for, girl? You can swim through peanut butter. Number three, cougars. Can't do it. I'm not attracted to anything that's furry and crawls around on all fours. Sorry, just self-explanatory. Number 4, cokeheads. Absolutely not. As soon as you start stealing my light bulbs, you gotta bounce. All right, it ain't 1880 in this bitch. We ain't got no candles. Number 5, if you're one of those people that sat there and say, no, you decide what to eat, and then I list off all 800 restaurants until I finally stumble upon the restaurant that you've been wanting to go to the whole time, but you wanted me to say it and not you. Yeah, you know, just leave me alone. Number 6, if you fart in your sleep, you gotta go. All right, I was dating this foreign girl one time. True story. She farted in her sleep. I called immigration immediately. Number 7, can't mess with people who drive trucks. All right, if you drive trucks, you drive guys nuts, and you're probably abusive. Number 8, if she ever takes you at 3 a.m. talking about how she's up with the kid, red flag. What kind of mother forces their kid to stay up that late? Number 9, if I ever say I'm hungry for barbecue and you mention the McRib, I'll throat punch you. We about to drop your ass off at the McRib and then I'm gonna McDip. Number 10, if you're one of those people that's overbearingly loud and annoying first thing in the morning, look, when I wake up in the morning, I choose violence to about 9:30, okay? We will fight. Number 11, if her turds float, she's cheating. End of disgust. Number 12, if she orders chicken tenders everywhere she goes, that means she's content with the same thing. And if she's content with the same thing, she's content with you. And that's a red flag because you're never going to be able to get rid of her now. Now it's time for the biggest turn-ons. You guys ready? Number 1, silence. Well, that concludes my video today. Thank you guys for watching. I'm so glad I switched to Verizon Wireless. Let me tell you why. I remember this one time I got stranded at the club because I didn't have any more minutes on my car. So I had this girl run me home, and by home I meant her house. This girl had one of them septum piercing, a sleeve. She had Monster Energy drinks all on the floorboard. She don't litter, I give her that. She had one of them ear gauges, you know, you could fly a kite through that thing. She take that thing out and it looked like she had an Arby's sandwich hanging out her ear. She told me she had daddy issues, and that was fine with me because now that means I ain't got to meet them. This girl definitely did coke with John Jones. Anyways, we get to her house, you know, I go to the bathroom, you know, and avoiding all the holes in the drywall. Her name was Kyla, but it could have been Kyle at one point. Hell, I don't know. I take a little bit longer than anticipated because I'm in there Googling her medications. A lot of steroids in there. She might have been a bodybuilder. I just got a little weirded out, okay? So I had to get out of there. I lathered myself down in that body lotion she had in there, and I slipped out the bathroom window like a Guatemalan sperm whale. Thank God for Verizon Wireless. Tyrone, the cops are here. You want me to go talk to him? All right, I just got back from talking to him. He said something about y'all in here selling grass. Tyrone, you ain't tell me you was in the lawn care business. But nah, for real though, the cops said this spot is hot. Y'all ain't got no AC in here or something? What you mean I don't support black business? Where you think I got the shit you're smoking on? Did you say that was some loud? Let me step out real quick, man. I got sensitive ears. Shit, I've been to jail before. Shit, best field trip of the semester. You mean to tell me I can say the N-word? No, that's a damn lie. That's a trap. Shit, last time I said controversial shit like that, I was at Comic-Con. I got jumped by the Power Rangers. All right, now, I done had downs 3 games in a row. Are y'all gonna let me on the court or not? You want me to play you in 2K? I don't want that smoke, bro. Boom Boom Room. What you talking about? The Black Eyed Peas song? What you mean, my black card revoked? I just got it. Man, these edibles ain't talking about nothing. I don't know, man. I feel pretty good. When the fuck did you get in the back seat? Bro, watch the road. Dude, we ain't even driving right now. That's how I know you faded. You think I'm the one that's faded? Dude, I'm not even real. Dude, you're right. Wait, where the fuck did I go? If I ever get sponsored, I hope it's by Waffle House. I've given them lots of business over the years. I'm pretty picky about which Waffle Houses I go to. If I pull up to Waffle House at 2 a.m. and the cook ain't outside smoking a Newport 100, I ain't going in. If I pull up to Waffle House at 2 a.m. and I don't see at least 3 teeth missing, I ain't going in. If I pull up to Waffle House at 2 a.m. and the health inspection reads 100, I ain't going in. That's right, I prefer the gas leak. As soon as I get there, I got a checklist of things I've got to ask. How many of your employees have pending warrants? How often do your customers attempt to pay with food stamps? Do you guys even own a wet floor sign? How long has it been since someone's pulled a gun in here? Waffle House is the equivalent to Jacksonville, Florida. Waffle House, the only place to get a quality meal while also watching crackheads go TikTok viral for your entertainment. Every time I walk into that place, I think of Chef Boyardee, cause Chef Boyardee's manager's fucking y'all on dental. Waffle House is a great place to pick up chicks after the bar. In fact, it's actually scientifically proven women prefer waffles to pancakes because waffles have deep pockets, unlike their bum-ass boyfriends. Which unfortunately includes me. All I got for you is deep depression and syphilis. Anyway, sponsor me, Waffle House. I think I'll be a great addition to your team. And if not, I'll just go there to IHOP. I mean, I got a buddy who's an amputee anyways. So, I've made a couple bad investments in my life, right? Worst investment I ever made was my dishwasher. For one, the damn thing didn't clean worth a shit, alright? Spotty ass dishes, white and cloudy glasses, the damn thing had an odor, it was noisy as hell, the racks never came out when I wanted them to, it made more of a mess than it did a cleaning, she never let me watch the game, she never let me go out on the weekends with the boys, she never let me fucking... My buddies keep saying I need to get back into the dating scene, you know, because to them, living in your own house with complete freedom in every aspect has got to be one of the most mentally unstable and or depressing things imaginable. Sure, I get lonely from time to time. But I can move the couch wherever I want. Y'all know how stubborn some friends can be though, right? So ultimately I had to acquiesce. I think I'm using big words and shit. So we actually tried quite a few dating sites, and it was a failure to say the least. First dating site I got on, y'all, Christian Mingle. And within 5 minutes, y'all, I get my first match. I'm all nervous and shit. Y'all know how it gets, all butterflies in your stomach, we get to chatting and stuff. First thing she asked me, she goes, are you a missionary? I say, well, I prefer doggy style to the third date. Blocked immediately. Not a have a blessed day, not a damn assalamu alaikum, not a damn thing. The next website I tried was Hinge, and I gotta be honest with y'all, that name's a little misleading. So I meet this chick on there, right? We get to chat. It's a little better than the last one. She ends up coming over to my house, actually, right? We started getting freaky and shit. And look, we all grown here. We know how this is, right? Some girls go to moaning. Some like to cuss. Some even make animal noises if they into that shit, right? Y'all, this bitch went to speaking in tongues with me. I freaked out. I punched the bitch in the throat. I ain't gonna lie. I couldn't let her finish. I didn't know what she was trying to do. You can't be trying to perform rituals, and I'm over here with my meat out like this. First off, highly disrespectful to the demon, because I'm sure he didn't come all the way up here to see that. That's not very Hinge. That's not very Hinge at all. I tried Match.com. Match.com was really confusing. I thought that meant that you was looking for a match, and not the fact that 85% of the women on there are arsonists. The only dating site that I can say stayed true to itself, stayed true to its root, maybe a little too true to itself, that was FarmersOnly.com, all right? Let me tell you something. That shit was so realistic. I got on Farmers Only. Next thing I knew, I was dating a hoe for 6 months. Now, I also tried Bumble, right? Now Bumble was kind of like a feminist app where, like, the woman makes the first move, right? And I'm completely fine with that, right? That makes perfect sense, which is why I signed up as a woman. But nah, I think I'm just gonna stay single, y'all. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Sometimes self-checkout lines are like the border. You stand in line for hours only to be told it's card only. Whenever I check out at Walmart, it's like I'm on the phone with customer service. I'm constantly asking for a real person. If I ever get arrested for theft at a self-checkout machine, I'm just going to take it to court and claim I wasn't trained properly. What bothers me is how they make the bags smaller so you can't bag the bigger items, and they use it as an excuse to check their receipt at the door. It used to be their job to do their job. Now it's their job to make sure you do their job, and if you don't do their job, then it's their job to still do nothing, and these people are pushing for $15 an hour. To be fair though, this has nothing to do with the employees. It's not their fault they lost their position to a robot who only got the job because he's cousins with a Terminator. I seen a Facebook post the other day where it was like, you remember when you used to be able to buy lobster and ARs at Walmart? Like, this used to be a country, man. And I couldn't agree with that shit more, man. I can't buy a gun or abuse my EBT. Whatever happened to being open 24/7? Whatever happened to being able to buy your duster cans in private? Self-checkout really isn't that bad. It's just kind of annoying at times. Like whenever it tells you that you need employee assistance, but the assistance is busy out smoking a Marlboro Red in the parking lot like we're at a fucking Waffle House or some shit. To blow your mind, right? There's 24 hours in a day, right? And technically speaking, they say on average you're supposed to sleep 8 hours a day, which I haven't did that in about 10 years, but generally speaking for this video, right? But if you think about it, if you're sleeping 8 hours a day, you're technically sleeping a third of your life away. If you live to be 90, that means you slept 30 years of your life. If you live to be 60, you slept 30. Wait, no, that's not right. And this is exactly why I never showed my work in algebra class. Anyways, I'm 27, which means technically speaking, I've slept 9 years of my life away. Now, what does this all mean? Where does this all tie in together? What's the point you're trying to get here? I'll tell you what the point is. Meth heads live longer than anybody. I mean, sure, he might have only made it to 40, but I gotta live to 120 to see that kind of action. Before anybody hops on here judging me, calling me names, and all this other shit, I just want to make it perfectly clear that all this has been scientifically proven. They ran a whole bunch of tests down there at Florida State, penitentiary. I would tell y'all to fact check me, but they burned all the documents along with that guy that ate those bath salts that one time and turned to a zombie. I'm not really sure what the correlation is. I mean, other than, that's just some Florida shit. I don't know if they're all just at the burner and there's two guys there and one was like, hey, throw my shit in there first. And the other guy was like, no, throw my shit in there first. And like a third guy came in the room and was like, hey, we can make room. I'm not sure what happened there. I feel like I'm going off page now. But my point is, you can take my word for it. I wouldn't lie to you. I'm a nice guy. I sit crisscross applesauce and shit at public functions. You ever had a choke a chicken before? And no, I'm not talking about your dink-dink. I'm talking about an actual chicken. I've had a lot of oddball jobs in my life. My favorite was when I worked at the chicken house, but sometimes, working at a chicken house, sometimes you got to take them out, and I ain't talking about on a date. Thing is, you couldn't just throw them up against the wall. You couldn't just curb stomp them. can't do that. We had rules, all right? This wasn't some, you know, bumfuck, backwater ass shit show of an operation, all right? We had a classy establishment. When it came of disposing of the chickens, we had to do it the humane way. They're like, come here, Mr. Tucker, come here, Mr. Tucker, let me show you how you do it, all right? You take your hands, all right? This is what you do. You take one hand and you grab both legs, all right? You grab both legs just like this, and you let them dangle there, okay? And then you take the other hand and you put it right behind, you put it on their neck, all right? Right where the skull meets the neck, okay? So you got one hand got neck, one hand got the legs, all right? And then in one swoop, Mr. Tucker, you're gonna stretch Armstrong that motherfucker, all right? It's gonna separate the spinal cord. They don't feel anything, kills them immediately. Bam, gone. All right, done. You got that, Mr. Tucker? You got it? I told him I had it. Apparently I didn't. I came across this chicken in there one day that was in bad shape. You might be wondering what was wrong with it. I don't fucking know. I'm not a doctor. If I grab them, right, and I get ready to do this humane procedure, you know, and I yank on them, and the whole head came off, spine and all, like in the Predator movies. Blood goes shooting everywhere. It was crazy. And what made it so worse, what made it so bad, y'all, is when I first did it, like when I was in the process of doing it, the chicken made a sound. It was like, yes, daddy. I'm joking, y'all. This video is about chickens, not my hoe ass ex-girlfriend. It did make a noise though. It was like, huh. It had an impact on me. Like, it bothered me for a little while. The chicken, that is, not my ex-girlfriend. All right, come on now. Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. Anyways, this video goes out to all the chickens I've killed over the years. Rest in peace to y'all. And you know, if I was a wealthier man, I would have saved them. You know, this must be like what a celebrity feels like when they get famous after the abortion.